I let my brother and his girlfriend stay in my house temporarily. They slowly took over and started calling it their house. Then, with my parents' help, they tried to transfer the house into my brother's name. I, 29 male, live in Phoenix and worked my way up from assistant coordinator making $35,000 to senior manager, pulling in about $130,000 annually. The thing is, I'm really good with money, like obsessively good. While my coworkers were buying expensive trucks and eating out every meal, I was living in a tiny 400-square-foot apartment driving a 2015 Honda Civic with 180,000 miles and saving every single penny I could get my hands on. My family background is complicated, to put it mildly. Dad works construction. Mom's a substitute teacher when the district needs her. They raised 4 kids on maybe $55,000 combined income in a good year. Money was always tight growing up. Hand-me-down clothes from Goodwill, generic brand everything, and vacations meant camping in state parks with a tent that leaked when it rained. I learned early that if you want something in this world, you work for it. Started mowing lawns at 12, had a paper route at 14, worked at a grocery store throughout high school. My brother Jake learned the completely opposite lesson, that if you want something, you charm your way into getting someone else to pay for it, preferably while making them feel guilty if they hesitate. Jake's always been what you'd call the charming one in our family. Good-looking in that effortless way some guys have. Smooth talker who could convince a fish to buy water. Never met a responsibility he couldn't charm his way out of. In high school, I was working 25 hours a week at Best Buy while maintaining a 3.8 GPA and playing tennis. Jake was supposedly too busy with football practice to get a job, though he seemed to have plenty of time to party every weekend. I paid for my own car insurance, gas, clothes, everything. Jake's car. Dad somehow scraped together money for a used Mustang. Jake's car insurance. Dad paid it every month without complaint. Jake's college tuition. Parents took out loans they're still paying off 6 years later. Jake's degree. He dropped out junior year to pursue music because his band was going to make it big. Spoiler alert, Jake's band never made it past playing dive bars in Tempe for tip money. Meanwhile, I graduated with a construction management degree and zero debt because I worked part-time throughout college and lived off ramen noodles for 4 years straight. Got hired straight out of graduation and immediately started saving for a house. Not an apartment, not a condo, but a real house with a yard and a garage. In 2021, after 3 years of saving every possible dollar and living like a monk, I finally had enough for a down payment on a 3-bedroom house in Chandler. $275,000 purchase price, $55,000 down payment that cleaned out my entire savings account, $2,200 monthly mortgage. I furnished it slowly over 2 years with stuff from Facebook Marketplace and estate sales. Here's where my best friend Tony comes in. Tony is a 31-year-old electrician who looks like he bench presses pickup trucks for fun and has absolutely zero filter when it comes to calling out nonsense. He helped me wire the whole house during renovation, working evenings and weekends, and gradually became my unofficial life advisor and reality check. Tony has this theory that every family has one person who carries everyone else financially, and that person always gets taken advantage of until they finally snap and fight back. He calls it the pack mule syndrome. Bro Tony told me one Saturday while we were installing ceiling fans, sweat dripping onto my old hardwood floors, "You a pack mule in your family. Your whole family's been riding you since you got your first paycheck at 16, and they're going to keep riding until you either break down completely or buck them off your back." I laughed it off back then, making jokes about how family helps family, and that's just how things work. I should have listened to Tony more carefully. The man's got street smarts that could power a small city. The house became my sanctuary in every sense of the word. I had my gaming set up in the 3rd bedroom with a custom-built PC. I'd saved 2 years to afford a home gym in the garage with equipment I'd bought piece by piece from Craigslist, and a backyard perfect for grilling with a fire pit I'd built myself using YouTube tutorials. Wake up at 6 a.m., coffee on the back porch watching the sunrise, work from my home office until 5, hit the gym in my garage, dinner while watching Netflix or gaming until midnight. Simple, peaceful, completely mine. I never posted about the house on social media, never invited family over for holidays. My family knew I'd bought something, but they thought it was a small condo based on the deliberately vague things I'd tell them. I let them think that on purpose. Experience had taught me that the more my family knew about my finances, the more creative they'd get about finding emergencies that somehow required my immediate financial assistance. But secrets in families have a way of coming out eventually, especially when you start getting too comfortable and let your guard down. In January 2023, Jake calls with a familiar sob story. He and his girlfriend Brittany need a place to crash because their lease ended unexpectedly and their new apartment won't be ready for a few weeks. Just temporary, he promises. Could they possibly stay at my place? I'd never met Brittany in person, but I'd seen her Instagram through Jake's constant stories. Picture every basic Instagram influencer stereotype. Blonde extensions that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. Fake nails that could double as weapons. Constant selfies with captions like living my best life and blessed and grateful beyond measure. Usually posing with Starbucks frappuccinos or in front of luxury cars that definitely weren't hers. Jake had been dating her for 8 months. According to him, she was different and really motivated because she was trying to start a lifestyle blog about wellness and manifestation. According to her social media, her main motivation appeared to be getting other people to pay for her lifestyle while she figured out how to monetize her supposed spiritual journey. But Jake's my brother, so I said yes with conditions. 1-bedroom temporary stay. They help with groceries and utilities. Simple arrangement between adults who respect boundaries. They showed up the next day with a full-size U-Haul truck. Not a small one, a massive moving truck like you'd rent for an entire apartment's worth of furniture. I'm watching through my window as they unload box after box. Brittany's directing Jake like a 5-star general. That box goes in the living room. This one goes in our bathroom. Be careful with my mirrors. That's my essential oils collection. Our bathroom, day 1, hour 1, and she's already claiming territory. Tony happened to be there fixing an electrical outlet and started laughing when he saw the truck size. Bro, you see what's happening here? That's not a temporary stay. That's a hostile takeover. Nobody packs that much for a few weeks. Brittany walks into my house wearing a crop top that probably cost more than my grocery budget. Fake Gucci slides and sunglasses indoors like she was hiding from paparazzi. First thing out of her mouth. Oh, wow, this place is actually pretty nice. We could definitely make this work long-term if we wanted to. Make what work long-term? They're supposed to be there for 3 weeks maximum. She immediately starts rearranging my living room without asking. Moves my gaming chair for her massive pink velvet ottoman that looks like it belongs in a French bordello. Takes down my carefully selected movie posters and puts up live laugh love canvas art and motivational quotes about manifesting abundance. Sets up an elaborate skincare routine on my bathroom counter with serums, masks, and electronic devices making weird humming noises. Don't worry about the changes, she tells me with this patronizing smile. I'm basically an interior designer. I studied it for a semester in community college before I found my true calling. I didn't ask for interior design help. I'd spent 2 years getting my place exactly how I wanted it. Day 3, she's ordering DoorDash twice daily and having me sign for it since she's too busy creating content. Day 5, she's given my address to her nail salon for mobile manicures in my living room while I'm trying to work. Day 7, she's hosting Instagram live streams, talking to her 3,000 followers about manifesting abundance in our new space. Our new space, not my house where she's a temporary guest. Tony starts calling her princess parasitic and making bets on how long it'll take her to completely take over. Give it 2 months max. He predicts she'll have redecorated your bedroom and be charging you rent to live in your own house. Then Jake lost his job in February. He'd been working at a car dealership making decent money, but apparently telling your sales manager to chill out and stop micromanaging me when asked to show up on time is frowned upon in professional environments. Now they're both unemployed, living in my house, eating my food, using my utilities, showing no signs of looking for jobs or moving out. Brittany's response to Jake losing his job, this is actually perfect timing. The universe is clearly telling us something. Now you can focus on your music while I build my brand. Her brand consisted of posting thirst traps on Instagram, trying to get free products by claiming she was an influencer, and making TikTok videos about morning routines involving 20 different supplements she couldn't afford. 3 weeks turned into 6 weeks. 6 weeks turned into 12 weeks. Every time I brought up their move-out date, Brittany would get teary-eyed about how stressed she was finding the perfect place. The rental market was so crazy. Everything decent was so expensive. They just needed more time. Meanwhile, they're living like they own the place. Brittany's friends come over for content creation sessions using my house as a backdrop. She orders packages to my address daily and painted one of my guest room walls pink without asking, because it needed more feminine energy for proper manifestation. Tony starts documenting everything with photos. Trust me, he says, while photographing the pink wall. You're going to need evidence when this inevitably goes to court. This girl's playing the long game and you're the target. I thought he was being overly dramatic. Turns out Tony is basically a prophet when it comes to reading people. By month 8, I'm completely losing my mind. My peaceful sanctuary has become a chaos zone that smells like essential oils and entitlement. Brittany treats me like live-in building maintenance, constantly asking me to pick up her packages while I'm working, to be quiet during her content creation time, which conveniently overlaps with my work hours, and to keep my gaming volume down because it disturbs her meditation and chakra alignment sessions. She's also started making increasingly bold comments about the house itself. You know, Jake, this place has such good bones and potential. With the right vision and strategic investment, it could be worth so much more. And it's such a shame to see a space with this much potential being underutilized by someone who doesn't really understand interior design and feng shui. Underutilized. I live here every single day. I work here. I pay for every square inch of it. The breaking point comes when I get home early one Thursday and find Brittany giving a complete house tour to her friend Madison, who's filming everything with professional lighting equipment and multiple camera angles. And this is the kitchen, which obviously needs a complete gut renovation, but it has really good bones. The master bedroom is absolutely huge. Jake and I are already planning how we'll redecorate when we officially take over ownership. We're thinking of knocking out this wall to create a walk-in closet. When they officially take over ownership, what does that even mean? I clear my throat loudly from the doorway. Brittany jumps 3 feet in the air like she's been caught red-handed, stealing something, which she basically was. Oh, hey, you're home super early. I was just showing Madison around our place and giving her decorating ideas. Our place, not my house, where she's a temporary guest who's already overstayed her welcome. Take over ownership, I ask, keeping my voice carefully neutral. She gets this deer-in-headlights look, then quickly recovers with her practiced Instagram smile. Oh, that I just meant when we eventually find our own place, we want something with a similar layout. You know, for reference and inspiration. Complete nonsense. But I just nod and watch Madison pack up her professional equipment. That night I overhear them talking through the thin walls. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but Brittany's voice carries when she gets excited about her schemes. I'm telling you, Jake, this situation is absolutely perfect for us. Why would we even bother getting our own place when we could just stay here permanently? He's basically letting us live for free anyway, and he obviously doesn't know what to do with all this space. I don't know, babe. It's his house. He worked really hard to buy it. For now, it's his house technically, but think about it logically. He's single, no kids, works all the time, barely uses half the space. We're the ones actually living here, making it feel like a real home, plus with a baby on the way. Wait, hold up. What did she just say? Your parents already love me way more than they've ever liked him, and families help families, right? Especially when there's going to be a grandchild involved. Their first grandchild. She's pregnant. Since when? You really think they'd actually help us get the house somehow? Baby, your brother makes serious money and spends it on nothing but video games and computer equipment. Your parents have been worried about him being alone forever, probably dying single and childless. A house this big for one antisocial person that's just selfish and wasteful, especially when their son is trying to start a family and provide them with grandchildren. I'm recording this entire conversation on my phone, hands shaking with anger. Tony was absolutely right about needing evidence. The next morning, Brittany announces the pregnancy with all the subtlety of a freight train. She accidentally leaves a positive pregnancy test on the kitchen counter where I'll definitely see it. Then acts all surprised when I notice it. Oh my gosh, you weren't supposed to see that yet. We wanted to tell the whole family together. Jake's grinning like he just won the lottery instead of getting trapped by a professional manipulator. Surprise, bro. You're going to be an uncle. Isn't this amazing? I fake enthusiasm while internally screaming and planning my escape route. That weekend, they invite my parents over for dinner at my house using groceries I paid for without asking me. I come home to find my parents at my kitchen table while Brittany plays perfect hostess. She's in full performance mode, wearing a flowy maternity dress that emphasizes her barely there bump, talking about how blessed they are to be starting their family in such a loving, stable home environment. My mom is eating every word like gospel truth. Oh, Brittany, you're just glowing. And this house is just absolutely perfect for raising children. I know, right? Jake and I were just saying how this feels like our forever home. We could really see ourselves building a whole life here, raising our kids in this neighborhood. Building a life in my house, raising kids in my house, kids plural. Dad starts talking about how expensive it is to raise kids these days, how hard it is for young couples to get started. Brittany nods along sympathetically, occasionally placing her hand on her stomach, looking overwhelmed. It's just so stressful, she says, with practiced vulnerability. Houses like this are completely out of our budget range. Everything we can afford is just not suitable for raising a baby safely. She's laying the groundwork perfectly. I can see the manipulation happening in real time, and my parents are falling for every single word. After dinner, Mom pulls me aside. That girl is absolutely perfect for Jake. She's going to make such a wonderful mother. You're so lucky to have them here. This house was honestly way too big for just you. Anyway, I bite my tongue hard enough to taste blood and just nod along. Tony stops by later after my parents leave and I fill him in on everything. He's not even surprised anymore. Called it months ago. Princess Parasitic found her mark, analyzed the family dynamics, identified all the weak points, and now she's moving in for the kill. Question is, what are you going to do about it? I don't know yet, but I'm definitely starting to get some very specific ideas. The baby shower happens on a Saturday in April. Originally, it was supposed to be at my parents' house, but Brittany somehow convinces them that my place would be so much more spacious and perfect for photos and would really show how much family means to all of us. Of course, she doesn't ask me directly. She has Jake approach me with the request, framing it like they're doing me a massive favor by letting me host this wonderful family celebration. Brittany thought it would be really special to have the shower at your place since you've been so generous letting us stay here. Plus, she's been working so hard to make the house look amazing for the professional photos she's having taken. Make the house look amazing. It's my house. It already looked exactly how I wanted it to look. But somehow I end up agreeing to host a baby shower for 30 people while being treated like hired help instead of the actual homeowner. Brittany goes into full event planner mode the entire week before ordering me around like I'm her personal assistant. Can you move your car to the street so there's more parking? Can you put all your gaming stuff away so it doesn't ruin the aesthetic? Can you make sure to stay out of the main areas during gift opening so you don't accidentally photobomb the professional photos? Stay out of the main areas of my own house during a party I'm hosting and essentially paying for. Tony shows up early Saturday morning to help set up, but really to watch the chaos unfold and document everything. He brings his girlfriend Lisa, who takes one look at Brittany directing traffic in a $200 maternity dress and immediately understands the assignment. "Oh, heck no," Lisa whispers to me. "That girl's absolutely insane. She's acting like she owns this place and you're just some servant." The party starts at 2 p.m. with pink and gold decorations covering every surface, a 3-tier cake that probably cost more than my monthly food budget, and elaborate games involving guessing baby food flavors and measuring Brittany's belly with ribbon. Brittany's playing the perfect pregnant princess, graciously accepting gifts like actual royalty. Every other sentence is about how blessed and grateful she is and how amazing it is to have such a wonderful, stable home to raise the baby in. My mom's eating every single word, talking about how excited she is to finally have a grandchild and how wonderful it is that they have such a stable, loving environment. Stable environment in my house that they don't contribute a penny toward. Then comes the moment I'll never forget. My mom stands up and taps her water glass. I have a very special announcement to make. She pulls out this fancy wooden box with an elaborate ribbon. "Jake and Brittany, this is from all of us in the family. A gift to help you start your family with complete security and stability." Inside the box is a house deed. My house deed, except Jake's name is printed on it instead of mine. The entire room erupts in applause. Brittany starts crying happy tears. Jake looks genuinely shocked, but pleased. My mom's beaming like she just solved world hunger. "We wanted to make absolutely sure you have security and stability for the baby," Mom announces. "The house is yours now, completely paid off. Consider it an early inheritance and our investment in the future of this family." I examine the deed more closely. It's got Jake's name where mine should be, but when I look at the signature line, something's definitely off. I've seen my signature on legal documents hundreds of times. This isn't it. My dad leans over quietly. "Don't make a scene in front of everyone. We'll talk about this later in private. You'll be fairly compensated for your sacrifice." That's when it hits me like a freight train. They forged this deed. They actually committed identity theft and fraud, forged my signature, and transferred ownership of my house to Jake without my knowledge or consent. I don't make a scene. I just excuse myself politely, go to my bedroom, and start making very important phone calls. First call my lawyer, second call a locksmith, third call a moving company, fourth call Tony. It's time for Operation Pack Mule Liberation. Game on. Monday morning, 6 a.m. sharp. The locksmith arrives exactly on schedule. By 6:30, every single lock in the house has been changed. By 700 a.m., Tony's there with his work truck and 3 of his biggest electrician buddies, all eager to help with what Tony's calling Operation Pack Mule Liberation. Jake and Brittany are still fast asleep when the professional moving crew shows up at 8 a.m. with a full-size truck and enough boxes to pack up a small apartment. I bang loudly on their bedroom door. Rise and shine, it's moving day. Jake opens the door looking completely confused and half asleep. What? Moving day. What are you talking about, bro? You've got exactly 2 hours to pack up all your belongings and get out of my house. Anything left behind after 10 a.m. becomes my property. Brittany appears behind him wearing a silk robe that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. Excuse me. This is our house now. You literally cannot just kick us out. I hold up my phone showing the crystal clear recording of their conversation from months ago where she explicitly laid out her entire plan to take over the house. First of all, that deed you got yesterday completely fraudulent. My signature was forged, which makes it a Class 4 felony in Arizona. Second, you've been trespassing in my house for over a year without paying rent. Third, I have recordings of you planning to steal my property. You have exactly 2 hours. Jake's trying to process this while simultaneously trying to wake up. But the deed mom said it was all legal is fake. I already called my lawyer and filed a police report. Show me a single mortgage payment, insurance payment, or utility bill with your name on it. Brittany's face is turning increasingly red. You can't do this to us. I'm pregnant. You're literally going to throw a pregnant woman out on the street. I'm evicting a squatter and a wannabe identity thief who happens to be pregnant. The pregnancy isn't my problem or responsibility. Tony and his crew start bringing in moving boxes. We're here to help you pack efficiently and safely, ma'am, purely for your convenience and to avoid any property damage. The next 2 hours are absolute chaos. Brittany's screaming about how this is illegal, how she's calling the police, how her father's a lawyer who's going to sue everyone involved. Her father's not actually a lawyer. He sells insurance and drives a 2018 Camry. But she's clearly panicking. Jake's running around frantically trying to pack their massive amount of stuff while also trying to calm Brittany down and figure out what just happened to their perfect plan. My mom shows up around 9:30 a.m. absolutely furious. What do you think you're doing? That's their house now. We gave it to them. I calmly show her the police report I filed for identity theft and fraud. Mom, they forged my signature on legal documents. This is a serious felony. Do you want to be considered an accessory to fraud? Her face goes completely white when she realizes they actually committed a crime. Meanwhile, Brittany's having a complete emotional meltdown, crying and screaming about the unfairness of it all. At one point, she dramatically throws herself onto my couch and wails, "This is so unfair! We were building a life here." Tony can't contain himself anymore. Lady, you were building a life with someone else's money in someone else's house while contributing absolutely nothing except drama and entitlement. That's not building a life. That's being a parasite. By 10 a.m. exactly, they're gone. Brittany's still screaming threats from the driveway while Jake loads the last of their stuff into the moving truck. She's already posting Instagram stories about being illegally evicted by toxic family members and asking for donations. I watch them drive away from my front window. Tony hands me a cold soda and grins. Phase 1 complete, he says. What's Phase 2? Phase 2 is where things get really interesting. That evening, I sit down with my laptop and spreadsheet software to compile every single financial account subscription and automatic payment I've been covering for my family members over the years. The list ends up being significantly longer than I expected. Over the past several years, I'd gradually become the unofficial family bank without really noticing how extensive and expensive it had become. It started small and seemingly reasonable, covering Dad's truck payment when he was injured, then Mom's credit card payment when she overspent on Christmas presents, then my sister's car insurance because she was between jobs. Before I knew it, I was paying for Dad's truck payment every month at $415. Mom's car insurance at $175 monthly, my sister's phone plan at $82 per month, my parents' streaming services, which combined cost $64 monthly for Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Uncle Rick's storage unit at $125 monthly, the family phone plan upgrade, which cost an additional $42 monthly for unlimited data, and various family emergencies that averaged about $280 monthly, including car repairs, medical bills, and utility payments. My total monthly family subsidy was about $1,183. Over the past 3 years, that added up to $42,588 in regular monthly payments. That's not counting the one-time emergency payments, like the house down payment help I gave my parents totaling $14,000, the emergency car repair fund for my sister when her transmission died, totaling $7,800, or the countless smaller loans that were never paid back. My total family financial bailout since I started making decent money was $64,388. Tony's jaw literally drops as I show him these numbers. Bro, what the heck? You could have bought a luxury sports car with that money, or taken a vacation to Europe every single year for the past 5 years, or literally anything else besides supporting a bunch of fully grown adults who should be supporting themselves. He's absolutely right. But I was raised with the belief that family helps family, that you take care of your own people, and that success means lifting others up with you. I thought I was being a good son and brother. Now I realize I was just being a very well-compensated ATM machine. Time to permanently close the bank. I spend the next hour methodically canceling every single thing. Dad's truck payment gets discontinued immediately. Mom's car insurance policy gets canceled. My sister's phone plan gets disconnected. My parents' streaming services all get terminated. Uncle Rick's storage unit payment gets stopped. The family phone plan gets downgraded to basic service. Every single automatic payment to any family member gets discontinued permanently. Then I draft a group email to send first thing Tuesday morning. I want them to discover the full scope of what they're losing all at once for maximum impact. But first, I make some strategic phone calls to limit their damage control options. I call Dad's boss at the construction company. Hey, this is awkward, but I thought you should know, someone might be calling claiming to be my father asking about emergency loan assistance or advanced pay. My family's been having some serious financial issues. Just wanted to give you a heads up. I have the same conversation with Mom's principal at the elementary school where she substitutes and with my sister's current boyfriend's parents. Tony is absolutely dying laughing. You're scorching the earth behind you. I love it. Tuesday morning, I send the group email with all the family members copied. The subject line reads, Financial Independence Day. And the body explains that after this weekend's events, I've decided it's time for everyone to achieve true financial independence, effective immediately. All automatic payments from my accounts to theirs have been permanently canceled. All shared services have been discontinued. All emergency financial assistance has ended permanently. And all outstanding loans are now due in full with accumulated interest. I attach helpful financial planning resources, including personal budgeting worksheets, local job search websites, and information about government assistance programs they may qualify for. My phone starts ringing within 15 minutes of sending that email, cutting them off financially. I don't answer a single call. Week 2, the real consequences hit. Dad's truck gets repossessed from the construction site, embarrassing him professionally. Mom's car insurance lapses, and she gets pulled over, resulting in a ticket and court date. My sister's phone gets shut off mid-Instagram story, which she considers a personal tragedy. I know all this because my cousin Amy keeps sending updates. Amy's the family gossip coordinator, but she's smart. Never asked me for money and thinks what they did was unforgivable. Your mom had to take a part-time job at Walmart. Amy texts with a secretly taken photo. She's working self-check checkout looking absolutely miserable. My mom, who used to brag about her successful son, is now scanning barcodes for $12 an hour. Your dad's riding the city bus to work now. Saw him at the stop looking completely defeated. Jake and Brittany are living in her parents' basement paying rent. Brittany's crying on Instagram and started a GoFundMe for apartment deposits. The GoFundMe raised exactly $47 after 2 weeks. Hilarious. Week 3 brings waves of desperate calls. Sister calls from work since her phone shut off. I think there's been a huge misunderstanding. Mom leaves a voicemail about discussing this like reasonable adults. Dad tries, your mother's crying herself to sleep every night. I don't call anyone back. I'm done being their emergency contact for self-created problems. Week 4, they show up for a full family intervention. I'm expecting this, so I've installed a Ring doorbell and security cameras. Tony's over for UFC fight night, grinning like a maniac while recording everything. The whole family's assembled on my porch like they're here for a funeral. Brittany's wearing an oversized sweater to emphasize her pregnancy bump, practicing her most pathetic expression. What do you want, I ask through the intercom without opening the door. We want to talk as a family, Mom says. The same family that committed identity theft against me. Jake speaks up after Brittany elbows him. Bro, we're literally living in Brittany's parents' basement paying $800 rent plus utilities. We can't afford it long term. Here's how we work this out, I say. First, Jake and Brittany publicly apologize on social media for attempting to steal my house and admit they forged. Second, get actual jobs and pay your own bills like functioning adults. Third, pay me back every penny I've loaned or gifted. $64,388 plus interest. That's completely ridiculous, Brittany shouts. We don't have that kind of money. Then I guess you better start earning it. They stand there 10 more minutes, with Brittany getting increasingly dramatic. She actually sits on my porch steps crying about how stress is dangerous for the baby and how I'll be responsible if something bad happens. I don't acknowledge the manipulation attempt. Week 6 brings the real begging campaign. Brittany texts from her mom's phone with a hospital bed photo. I had to go to the emergency room because of severe stress. I screenshot it and send it to Tony with level 10 manipulation attempt in progress. He responds, "Don't fall for it. Princess Parasitic is pulling out all the stops." She tries again. "Don't you care about your own niece or nephew? What kind of uncle abandons family?" Then gets truly desperate. "I'll leave Jake completely. I'll disappear forever. Just please help him get back on his feet financially." Now she's throwing Jake under the bus to save herself. Week 8. Jake shows up alone looking absolutely terrible. Lost 20 pounds unshaven, wearing clothes that need washing. "Can I please come in?" "Just to talk for 5 minutes?" I let him in, recording everything for legal protection. Jake sits on my couch, staring at his hands for a full minute. "She left me," he says finally. "What, Brittany left me last week. Moved back in with her ex-boyfriend from college. Says the baby probably isn't mine anyway." Plot twist. I genuinely wasn't expecting. She was cheating the whole time. Getting money from him, from me, probably from other guys too. I'm just the one stupid enough to try getting her an entire house. He looks up with tears in his eyes. "You were completely right about her from the beginning. She was using me, using all of us. The second things got difficult, she just disappeared." He's actually crying now. "I'm really sorry, man. I genuinely messed up. I know I took advantage of your generosity and let her manipulate me into doing something terrible to you. And that's when I realized I completely won. Not just the house situation, everything." I sat down across from him. "Jake, you want to earn back even a tiny bit of my respect? Get any job. Work 6 months straight without asking anyone for financial help. Prove you can actually take care of yourself. Then maybe we can talk about slowly rebuilding some kind of relationship." He nods eagerly. "Yes, absolutely. I'll do whatever it takes. And if I ever see or hear from Brittany again, we're done forever." "Understood. Completely understood." I slip him a 20, get some food, get a shower at the gym, start job hunting tomorrow morning. As he's leaving, he turns back. "For what it's worth, this house looks really good. Better than when we were here messing it up." After he leaves, I sit in my quiet, peaceful, completely mine house and smile. Tony texts later, "How'd the broken brother visit go? I won. Told you, bro.